The officer snatched the blue sapphire bracelet from Linda's hands. "That's not yours," he snapped, his accusing gaze fixed and unwavering. The security cameras had recorded everything. Linda stood frozen, stunned into silence in the middle of the upscale jewelry boutique. Her fingers gripped her purse as curious eyes turned her way. What Officer Simmons didn't realize was that Gregory Sullivan, the quiet man observing from across the store, was far more than an employee. He was Linda's husband and a police chief, working undercover on a case. That morning, Sullivan had straightened her gray cardigan and looked at herself in the hallway mirror. At 42, she carried herself with the grace and calm confidence that came from decades spent teaching third grade. Her straight blonde bob framed a face used to smiling, though today her blue eyes shimmered with unease. "You sure you don't want me to come with you?" Gregory's voice floated in from his home office, where police files were scattered across the desk. Weekends didn't slow down his workload. "It's just a retirement gift for Carol," Linda replied, adjusting her pearl earrings. After 30 years in the classroom, she deserves something special from the staff. Gregory appeared in the doorway, salt and pepper hair perfectly combed, his solid frame giving him a quiet authority even in casual wear. "All right," he said, "but remember, Murray's fine jewelry has had some complaints recently. Customers say their purchases went missing." Linda smiled at his ever-present protectiveness. Even after 15 years of marriage, Gregory's instincts never took a day off. "I'll be in and out," she reassured him. What could possibly happen to a schoolteacher shopping for a bracelet? Gregory didn't relax. "Actually, I'm headed that way myself. There's something about these reports that doesn't sit right." The same officer responded every time. Jason Simmons. That new transfer from the West Side precinct. Linda, picking up her purse, raised an eyebrow. "The one with the buzz cut?" "Something about him doesn't add up," Gregory said. "I'm going in undercover. He doesn't know me. I've been working out of the East Division since he came on board." Linda leaned in and kissed his cheek. "My husband, the detective. I'll be careful not to blow your cover." As she drove to the store, Linda hummed, along with the oldies playing on the radio. Teaching had always been more than a job. It was her calling. Pulling funds together with fellow teachers to get Carol a meaningful gift was just another way their school felt like family. Murray's fine jewelry sat in the heart of an upscale shopping plaza, its window displays glittering under the warm spotlighting. In the car, Linda gave herself a final once-over, a simple white blouse beneath a light gray cardigan, understated makeup. Nothing about her appearance suggested she might be trouble. With a small, self-conscious laugh, she grabbed her purse and stepped inside. The atmosphere inside was cool and refined, scented faintly with something expensive. Linda exhaled slowly and made her way toward the counter, unaware that this ordinary errand was about to spiral into something far more dangerous. Crystal chandeliers illuminated the store in a soft glow. Gleaming gemstones sparkled inside glass cases. Linda felt slightly out of place amidst the extravagance, but reminded herself she was a paying customer like anyone else. She walked over to a bracelet display, thinking of Carol's fondness for blue stones. "May I help you?" asked a man with thinning hair and wire-rimmed glasses. His name tag read Harold Murray, manager. "Yes," Linda said warmly. "I'm looking for a retirement gift. Maybe something with sapphires?" Murray's eyes scanned her, lingering briefly on her modest outfit before he offered a polite but reserved nod. "Of course, we have several lovely options." His voice carried a faint undertone of skepticism, which Linda ignored. As he led her to a case, she noticed other employees assisting customers. A man in a black vest and tie was arranging watches nearby. His presence felt familiar, but she quickly turned her attention back to the bracelets, remembering Gregory's warning. He was undercover. "These are our sapphire selections," Murray said, unlocking a case. He took out an exquisite bracelet. Deep blue sapphires in white gold, sparkling. "Under the lights. 14 genuine sapphires with diamond accents," he said, lifting the piece. "May I?" he asked, motioning to her wrist. Linda nodded. He clasped the bracelet on. It was stunning. It's beautiful, she breathed. How much? $8,500, Murray replied, watching her reaction. Linda held her expression steady despite the price tag. The staff had pooled just under $3,000. Maybe something a bit simpler, she asked with a polite smile. Murray's smile tightened ever so slightly. Of course, not everyone appreciates fine jewelry. Linda bristled but kept her cool. I'm looking for something high quality just within a budget. With visible reluctance, Murray showed her more affordable options. Just then the front door chimed. Linda looked up to see a tall officer enter. Broad-shouldered, buzzed brown hair, authoritative. Officer Simmons. Murray greeted him, suddenly upbeat. Here for your regular security check? Just making sure everything's in order, Simmons replied, eyes sweeping across the store and landing on Linda. Something in his stare made her uneasy. She selected a simple silver and sapphire bracelet priced within their budget. This one's perfect, I'll take it. As Murray rang up the purchase, Simmons drifted closer, watching her intently. Linda felt herself stiffen. She quietly confirmed that the expensive bracelet had been returned. Receipt and gift box, Murray said, sliding them across. Thank you. This is perfect. Linda tucked the small bag into her purse. She had barely taken 2 steps toward the exit when Simmons stepped in front of her. Excuse me, ma'am. I need to check your purse. Excuse me? Linda blinked. Security protocol. We've had several thefts. He extended his hand. Her heart thudded, but she knew she'd done nothing wrong. She handed over her bag, aware of the eyes now fixed on her, especially the man in the black vest who had subtly moved closer. Simmons rifled through her purse, then triumphantly held up the expensive sapphire bracelet. What? Linda gasped. That's not mine, I gave it back. Then explain how it ended up in your purse, Simmons demanded, raising the bracelet for all to see. I didn't steal it, she stammered. I handed it to Mr. Murray. Murray approached, face a mask of disappointed authority. I had a feeling something was off when you walked in. People like you always think they can get away with it. People like me? Linda repeated, stunned. I'm a teacher. I would never steal. Simmons grabbed her arm. You have the right to remain silent. As he began the Miranda warning, Linda looked toward the man in the vest. Their eyes met for a moment, and she saw it, that calm, resolute look. Gregory, this is a mistake, Linda protested as Simmons dropped the bracelet into an evidence bag. Customers had stepped back, watching the drama unfold with expressions ranging from concern to barely veiled curiosity. Security footage doesn't lie, Simmons said, and neither does the evidence in your purse. Panic clawed at her chest. I want to see the footage. I gave the bracelet back, everyone saw. Murray shook his head slowly. I showed you a few items, but that one, he gestured to the bag, was never returned. Linda's mind raced. She knew she hadn't taken it. Someone had planted it, but who and why? I want to call someone, she insisted, trying to steady her voice. You can do that at the station, Simmons said, his grip firming. As they neared the door, Linda looked back. Gregory was gone. Where had he gone? Had he seen enough? Still, no one stepped in as Simmons escorted her to the waiting patrol car. The sun was blinding as they exited the store. Watch your head, Simmons said, guiding her into the back seat. From inside the car, Linda saw Murray standing at the store's entrance, a smug expression on his face. Something about his interaction with Simmons tugged at her thoughts. The way they spoke, it was rehearsed. Too smooth. In the front seat, Simmons met her gaze through the rearview mirror. Officer Simmons, she began. Is there anything I can say to convince you I didn't do this? His expression turned to ice. Save it for the judge. People like me? She repeated. What does that mean? He sneered. The respectable ones. You act all innocent, but your hands are in the cookie jar. As the cruiser pulled away, Linda blinked back tears. How had a simple shopping trip turned into this nightmare? Where was Gregory, and how could she prove her innocence when the evidence had been planted so perfectly? What she didn't know was that the trap she'd walked into was about to snap shut on the ones who set it. Gregory Sullivan had seen everything from his post by the watches. Years of experience had trained him to blend in while missing nothing, and today, that skill would be more vital than ever. The same officer, always the one to respond. The same store manager, filing every report. The same insurance claims, processed without hesitation. And most suspicious of all, security footage that always seemed to malfunction at the crucial moment. As soon as Simmons led Linda out of the store, Gregory moved fast. He slipped into the back office and accessed the security system, something he'd already done that morning when he installed hidden cameras throughout the shop. The official surveillance feed played out exactly as expected. Linda appeared to slip the bracelet into her purse while Murray's attention was elsewhere. It was the perfect setup, but Gregory's hidden cameras told a much different story. From an angle not covered by the store's system, the footage showed Murray quietly placing the bracelet into Linda's open bag, while distracting her with a different display. It also caught a subtle nod exchanged between Murray and Simmons. Just moments before the officer approached Linda, Gregory pulled out his phone and placed a call. "Chief Sullivan here. Initiate Protocol 117. Target is Murray's fine jewelry. Suspects are active." He paused to listen, then added, "Yes, something's changed. They just framed my wife." Another beat of silence. "No, it's exactly what we needed. The evidence is solid. Simmons is taking her in now. Have Johnson intercept before she's booked. I'll handle things here." He ended the call and began downloading footage from both the official system and his hidden cameras to his tablet. Gregory had suspected Simmons for weeks but lacked hard proof, until now. And he had Murray nailed too. As he readied himself to confront the manager, Gregory's mind flashed to Linda, confused, frightened, being led away in front of a crowd. His jaw clenched. Simmons would answer for this, properly through the law. Gregory had always demanded the highest standards from his officers. Betray the badge, and you deserve the full weight of justice. He slipped the tablet into his bag, adjusted his tie, and stepped forward. It was time to spring the trap. After 25 years in law enforcement, Gregory had learned that the most satisfying arrests were the ones where the guilty never saw it coming, until it was far too late. Linda sat alone in a gray-walled interview room, the fluorescent lights humming above her. She hadn't cried. She refused to, but inside her emotions stormed. Fear, anger, disbelief. How long had she been sitting there? An hour? 2? The door finally opened, and a tall woman with cropped gray hair entered, a file folder in one hand. A detective's badge was clipped to her belt. "Mrs. Sullivan, I'm Detective Rodriguez," she said, her tone professional but gentle. "I understand there's been a misunderstanding." Linda's heart leapt, cautiously. "That's putting it mildly. I've been falsely accused and no one's listening." Rodriguez took the seat across from her. "Actually, I'm here to let you know you're free to go. No charges will be filed." Linda blinked. "What? I don't understand." Officer Simmons was so sure. "Officer Simmons has been suspended pending an investigation," Rodriguez interrupted. "We have strong reason to believe he's been working with Harold Murray in a criminal scheme." Before Linda could process what she'd just heard, the door opened again, and Gregory walked in, still wearing the black vest from the store. His expression was a mix of concern and relief. "Linda," he said, rushing to her side. "Are you okay?" She stood and let him embrace her. "Gregory, what's going on?" Rodriguez cleared her throat. "Chief Sullivan has been conducting an internal investigation on Officer Simmons for the past month. We suspected he was involved in an insurance fraud ring with Murray, but we needed undeniable proof." Linda pulled back slightly. "You knew? You knew this might happen?" Gregory's face turned serious. "I never imagined they'd target you. I was there to observe Simmons's routine. When you walked in..." He shook his head. "It made things more complicated, but it also gave us the perfect chance to catch them red-handed." Linda sat down slowly, the weight of everything settling on her. "The missing items you mentioned, the complaints?" Gregory nodded toward Rodriguez, who slid a tablet across the table. "Watch this." On the screen, two video feeds played side by side. One from the store's cameras, the other from Gregory's hidden angles. The official footage made it look like Linda tucked the bracelet into her purse. But Gregory's hidden camera captured what really happened, Murray carefully placing it there while keeping her distracted. "We've had our eye on Simmons since his transfer," Rodriguez explained. "There were several complaints at his last precinct, but nothing solid enough for charges. Once the same pattern showed up here, Chief Sullivan stepped in. The scheme was simple but smart," Gregory added. "Murray would pick a target, usually someone who didn't seem like they belonged in a place like his." "Someone like me," Linda said softly. Gregory nodded grimly. Then he'd plant an expensive item on them. Simmons, conveniently. Nearby would find it and make an arrest. They'd press charges, file insurance claims, and later the item would quietly return to inventory. "They've done this before?" Linda asked, horrified. "7 confirmed cases so far," Rodriguez said. "But those victims were intimidated, embarrassed. Most just pled out to avoid worse consequences." "So I was just another easy target," Linda murmured, struggling to take it in. "You were supposed to be," Gregory said quietly. "But they made one crucial mistake. They framed the police chief's wife," Linda finished, a flicker of irony in her voice. Gregory smiled faintly. "More importantly, they framed an innocent woman." Rodriguez stood. "Mrs. Sullivan, we'll need a formal statement, but that can wait until tomorrow. Right now you're free to go." As they gathered their things, Linda paused. "What happened to Simmons and Murray?" "They're both in custody," Rodriguez said. "When Simmons brought you in, he walked straight into our setup, and Chief Sullivan personally arrested Murray at the store. The evidence is overwhelming." Outside the precinct, the late afternoon sun stretched long shadows across the pavement. Linda took a deep breath, letting the fresh air wash over her. "I'm sorry you got caught in the crossfire," Gregory said, wrapping an arm around her. She looked up at him, her composure restored. "Don't be. I'm not just the police chief's wife. I'm also the woman who helped bring down a dirty cop." 2 weeks later, Linda stood before her third-grade students explaining the meaning of integrity as part of their character-building lesson. The irony didn't escape her. What had happened in that jewelry store had shaken her, yes, but it had also become a powerful lesson in courage and truth. News of the arrests had spread quickly. Local outlets covered the story in detail, praising the unnamed customer whose bravery helped expose the scheme. Gregory made sure Linda's identity remained private, but the truth came out loud and clear. The investigation uncovered 7 past victims, regular people wrongly accused and pressured into silence. Their records were now being cleared, their names restored by the same justice system that had once failed them. As for Linda, she'd gained a deeper appreciation for the responsibility her husband carried, and a newfound understanding of how easily power could be abused or used to protect. "Mrs. Sullivan?" A small voice piped up. "Is it true that bad people always get caught?" Linda paused, then smiled thoughtfully. "Not always," she admitted. "But that's why it's so important for good people to speak up, even when it's hard. Justice," she reminded herself, "doesn't just happen. It takes strength, persistence, and sometimes it takes a teacher standing her ground." If this story moved you, remember, ordinary people can make an extraordinary difference when they choose to do what's right. Have you ever stood up for truth? Been wrongly accused and fought back? Share your story in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful tales of integrity and justice. Hit that like button if you believe in the power of standing up for what's right. Because sometimes, even the quietest voices can bring down the loudest lies.